Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to one more interesting live session. Hi, Rupa.
Hey Trisha, good to be back with another interesting, exciting topic. So, yeah,
Yes, been a
it's been a
long
while since
time.
we were in, back on
Yes,
stage.
yeah, yeah. So today's topic is functional exercise and Meipadam Karlakattai. And as we both were discussing, there are so many interesting points that we have to share with people. So Rupa, let's go ahead, and I would like you to talk about the idea of functional exercise.
Sure.
Please
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah. I
ahead.
think I think people we were as a culture doing it all the time, and then over the last maybe 50 years or 70 years, we have sort of so called in the name of modernism and mimicking the Western world, sort of let go of all of that. So functional exercise is nothing but uh, doing activities or exercising the body in a way that you would function in your day-to-day life or day-to-day activity. So it is not something that you would do just for exercising sake, but it will be integrated or part of a day-to-day event or activity that you would do. Like for example, people were taking water from the well or going to the local river to get water, so they didn't do walking or all that core exercise for core exercise sake. There was part of them trying to fetch some water, or even cleaning the house, cleaning the floor, sweeping and swabbing the floor. It was something that they didn't say, oh, I have to squat, my it's good for my knees and legs. They didn't squat for that sake. They had to clean, so they had to squat. Or put rangoli, they had to squat to put rangoli. So stuff like that. So that is all functional exercise means. It's nothing fancy. Now nobody's making any money out of this. This is something that is long term, sustainable. It was part of our lifestyle which we have sort of forgotten and lost. Now it is all about convenience and pressing buttons, and that is where the sedentary life has kicked in, health problems have kicked in, and then we are rushing, oh, we are not exercising enough, let's all go to the gym. Gym is tedious for all practical purpose. It has no functional element in it, and it doesn't mimic anything from our day-to-day lives. So when we are lifting weight for our triceps and biceps, which functional activity in our day-to-day life represents that? We are not going to do this with our shopping bags. When are we doing this? Never or hardly, right? But that's what you're doing in gym for an hour every other day or whatever. So that sort of
Hmm.
losing the functional element means you can't translate it into your day-to-day life as effectively, and secondly, your range is limited. You're
Hmm.
not mimicking or bringing in together the different ranges we need for our day-to-day life either. So it's more, so simply put, functional exercise is integrated into your day-to-day lives. It is long-term, sustainable, financially and time-wise and effort-wise. So does that make sense?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean that was always supposed to make sense. Now, the dangerous thing that has happened in our society, and especially with the people who are living in cities and towns, is that we just don't, our lifestyle doesn't need those activities anymore. Unfortunately, we were supposed to squat and clean the floor. We were supposed to squat first thing in the morning for bowel movements, you know. So we have completely eliminated these activities from our life. Everyone has got a maid who also doesn't squat. She also
No,
uses,
uses
this.
a long
Yeah.
stick.
So, so even the house owner is sick, and even the maid has similar health issues.
Absolutely.
So then, how do we understand functional exercise with respect to the fact that we have got rid of these very crucial activities from our life for the rest of our lives? So, how do we understand functionality in terms of functional exercise in terms of that? One pointer which I quickly want to give before I forget is that there is some genetic or cultural component involved in this. But what do you think of this first problem? And then coming to my second point.
So yeah, like you say, we have eliminated a lot of the brilliant beneficial stuff from our lifestyle and from our culture, per se. But we still can trickle it back. Okay, we can't just still go to a well or a river and fetch water. We don't need to do that. We're not going to do that, and that's pushing it. That's unnecessary, I agree. But we can then stuff like, for example, the next best alternative is, all of us have one of those. Yeah, a lot of them don't have those gravity filters anymore. They have all the aquaguard and fancy stuff. But anybody who has a gravity filter, rather than put the pipe into the top compartment of the filter, lift, pour water, catch water, pour water. A good exercise for your shoulder, for your wrist. That's what we're doing with Karlakattai. We are working our shoulder and wrist and arm all the time. Include that in your functional thing. Like, for example, cutting vegetables. All of us still have to, fortunately, cut our vegetables, even though a lot of people get their maids to do it. Start doing it yourself. Brilliant fine motor, right? And especially when you're cutting more harder vegetables like a sweet potato or something, you have to exert more power. Your fingers, your arm, your hand, everything gets exercised at the same time. These are fine motor skills. If you stop doing it, as you get older, the degeneration is more, and you will completely lose it. Like, my mother was using, for example, scissors to cut everything. I said, why are you not pulling the packet with your hands? Why are you not just sort of, tearing and picking with your hands? And she said, no, this is more neater, more convenient. I said, yes, and you have no power in your hands. So because of you not exercising and using those fine motor skills, and people have these cutters, you have those cutters where you put everything, puchuk, you do, and it's all cut into fine pieces. No more using your knife, or using the sickle to cut and stuff like that. So all of those we still can bring back. We are not that far
Mm,
gone. So we still
mm,
can integrate and start, like sitting on the floor and eating. You can still do that. You might have a dining table, but you can still
mm,
choose to sit on the floor and eat. Squatting. You have one normal sofa and you have one floor sofa. Whenever possible, sit on the floor sofa. People who can't sit on the floor sofa can sit on the normal sofa. But integrate that, bring that back. So you just have to be more aware. And even if you
climbing
have a,
stairs.
yeah, start climbing stairs, exactly. So rather than take the lift every time, at least if you're on a 10th floor or something, do 2 or 3 stairs and then take the lift. Try to bring it back in. That's what, people, it is just down to awareness of the people and the people thinking about it. It's become autopilot mode, right? We do this, we sit in the rickshaw, pop into the rickshaw there, come out of the rickshaw here, get into the lift, press the button, go up, everything. And then you have a maid who will take the bag out of your hands. You don't have to carry anything ever. So why will the body not degenerate? And then you're paying money to the gym to bring back and do strength training. It's become a bit ridiculous, but people are so used to doing ridiculous things, we don't think of it as ridiculous anymore. So it has become
Right,
second nature.
right, right.
And the element about genes that you rightly said, our functional activities were focused on our body type, on our tendency to move in a certain way. All of us have slightly, the racial difference in our body is different. Somebody from Africa, a black person, will have a different musculature to an Asian person, to a European person. So our culture has normally and naturally taken all of that into consideration, and that's where our traditional arts like Meipadam, Karlakattai, or any of the Kalari Payate, all of them will have that element naturally inbuilt in it, right? You agree?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is so such a common sense, right? Because nowadays, what we see, unfortunately, all over the world is people adopting the Western way of exercising, and many of the fitness influencers, especially who are giving advice or running programs on weight loss, they just have these two plans to keep people fit. First is lift weight 3 times a week, and then second is walk for at least an hour every day, right? So, which of course, walking is good. We used to walk a lot more, and we don't anymore. So, walking is good, but like killing yourself to lose weight to fit into a body image which is also forced upon you, by social media and by the Western values, which is not natural to this land.
Mm.
Okay, it doesn't make sense. And then now you're like the fitness regime that is being presented to you as superior is also basically forced on you, which does not suit with what we have genetically programmed into. Like, for example, the fitness practices of this land, Meipadam, Karlakattai, or Silambam. So all these traditional martial arts, they were like they took into account, they developed, they evolved, they developed, they came to this land for this reason because the people of this land needed more. Otherwise, Karlakatai or Kalaripet, Silambam could have been some African or Latin American art, right? But it is from this place. Likewise, like if you say Kung Fu or Wing Chun or Tai Chi, that's from that part of the world, and the people with the practice of that are doing extremely well in terms of their longevity and fitness. So of course, it is correct. Finding to be able to find space in our lives to bring back these things to some extent, like at least like do simple thing for which you don't have to do anything new, is start sitting down on the floor and for eating meals, at least that you can do, that you can start doing immediately, right? Or taking stairs, as you said, take a couple of floors by on foot, and then maybe rest of the floors you can use the lift for yourself.
Yeah.
So exactly, so because I have been, and I have shared with you, and we have talked about this, that I had been listening to some very revolutionary thinkers, especially from the world of fitness. So, and one of them was that this heavy lifting kind of genetic disposition is very common to North European bodies, whereas to, let's say, Asian or South Asian bodies, the practices like the ancient martial arts, whether it's kung fu or kalari or silambam, they belong to this land. This is for the people from here. So, it comes to us, it is more beneficial for us, right?
Yeah.
So, it doesn't make sense that an East Asian, like some Japanese powerlifting and, things like that. So, of course, that is this is the difference between functional exercise and just mindlessly following some influencer who is just being followed by millions of people and following the same thing which he or she is trying to give everyone. In fact, I've seen some of the influencers admitting that they themselves have followed a same exercise routine for so many years, like 2 years or 3 years. Imagine doing the same exercise on every Monday, same exercise on every Wednesday, same set of exercises on every Friday or Sunday, right? So, in this way, you are, and also when it comes to just walking, so walking again is not a complete exercise in itself. So when it comes to keeping the fitness, keeping the health of our structures, which we have also discussed, both of us, we have discussed on this platform so many times, the structures like fascia and tendons and ligaments, these structures, the fitness of these structures, it what keeps you from having those degenerative diseases, especially after the age of 40. So, yeah, that's the difference between functional exercise and, like following something like a sheep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
What do you think?
people have to be more aware of their gut instinct and understand what works for them. What works for her, the influencer, may or may not work for you. So you have to be aware as to what your body is telling you. If it's working for you, then fine. But if it is not, and when you don't eat the same food every Tuesday or Monday, you don't wear the same clothes every Tuesday or Monday. Why do you need to do the same exercise every Tuesday or Monday? you know Movement is something that should not be such an effort, such a massive, oh, I need to do this and tick. It is not about tick boxing. It is the natural state. Look at kids, look at toddlers. They are the most amazing simple examples that anybody has access to. Look at toddlers, they are never still. Naturally, I'm talking about very early on toddlers. I'm talking like 2-year olds, right? Once they start going to school and nursery and everything, the ruin starts there and then, because then you have to sit quiet and listen to the teacher. That's different. But let them be by themselves. Naturally, they are constantly moving. They're squatting, they're stretching, they're climbing. They're never or hardly still. And they're all natural functional movements. They're not exercising. They have a good appetite, they'll have a good bowel movement. Everything is more or less falling in place naturally. And that's what we need to get back to as well, just that natural flow of life, natural movement in the body. They make such a big deal of movement, of exercising. It's like sold as a package, as to something from out there that we have to implement in our lives. No, it is part of our lives. Like I said, even with all the examples we gave to bring back functional exercising, even things like utensils, don't use aluminium, don't use all those coated crappy chemical coated ones. Use cast iron. Use, they are heavy, but then you are
Yeah.
functionally training your body, lifting, washing it every single time.
Yeah.
Functional.
Yeah.
And you're getting the
Yeah.
iron content from the utensil. So there
Yeah.
are so many simple easy ways which not only bring about the change in your body, but also other deeper health wise. You are
Yeah.
also naturally building up your holistic health on top of all of that. Things
Yeah.
like, if you have to do a bit of tea and you want to put some masala in the tea, rather than open a bottle and put a spoon, take the fresh masala, give it a good pound. Fine motor skills, you're using your shoulder,
Yeah.
using your arm, just pound it. It smells even more nicer, tastier. Just take that extra 5 minutes. It's not end
Right.
of the world if you take that extra 5 minutes to pound your masalas and put it in your chai. So it's things
Yeah.
like this. There is loads, but you have to start thinking, can I do this differently? Any activity and every activity you do throughout the day, just think about
Yeah.
it. and
Yeah.
and Maipadam, as we discussed earlier, it's all functional. The
Yeah.
inspiration for Maipadam and Karlakattai is entirely based on functional. The function is war, now, nevertheless, but still inspired through animals, how animals move, how animals defend themselves, and how we have to swing a sword or a spear or a silambam, a huge stick. How the body would move to manage that is what Maipadam and Karlakattai is. So even though there's a functional element that is inspiring it, of course, it has a much more deeper holistic healing benefit as well. But it is not done for sake of exercising.
Yeah.
How amazing is it, isn't it?
Yeah. 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 That's
it,
true. Yeah.
it's all there, and it's for us to just be more aware. I think that's where the first step is.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we have the physical and the mental benefits from Karlakattai and Maipadam. We talk
Yes.
about the firing both sides of the brain, how the cognition works differently, which weightlifting is not ever going to do.
Yeah.
And like you said, we have heard about the guy who's been we have been following, who also says about being mindful when exercising,
Yes.
rather than
Yes.
leaking agency and just watching mindlessly, watching some TV or listening to random
Listening to
music.
loud music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
loud music. You don't want to distract from the movement. The movement is something
Yes.
connecting you to your body, connecting you
Yes.
to your mind. So why do you want to?
Yes.
That's where it can be meditative, and that's why I keep repeatedly saying my padam is so meditative. When you get into the flow,
Yes.
the rhythm,
Yes.
it is so meditative. But you have to be
Yeah.
connected with the body. And
Yeah.
I've seen time and again how people are surprised. Oh, I didn't think I could do that, but they're able to do it
Hmm.
because they never
Hmm.
thought about it until now. So they thought, they just assumed they can't do it, and then they're able to do it. So the same level of curiosity and wanting to be a part of it has to be there physically and mentally, for
Hmm.
maintaining your cognitive skills and stuff. And we were talking about the blue zones, the documentary on blue
Hmm.
zones called Live to 100, which is covering this element so strongly. There are people in blue zones living to 100 plus, having a fantastic quality of life, no physical ailments, nothing's stopping them from having a full quality of life, full wholesome life. And they are not going to the gyms, not one of them going to the gym, right? All of them is functional exercising. They're walking uphill, downhill, they are doing their own vegetable cooking, kneading of dough, doing their own gardens, all functional exercises. So that's has proven time and again for generations and for centuries, it works beautifully and effortlessly
Yeah.
without any
And
financial strain and mental strain of sorts.
yeah. And also, I want to bring this one thing into notice that uh, basically all these fitness regime like Meipadam and Karlakattai, so because, at some point, let's say, I remember from the time when I crashed with multiple sclerosis, and I remember or people, there are many people who are suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome. For them, even to do these chores is so difficult. They just don't have energy. So, but if you see something like Meipadam or Karlakatai, it gives you the energy so that you can continue doing all these,
Well said. Absolutely.
activities. So, and that's why, once I reversed the symptoms of MS, I found that I had so much energy that I was now able to do a lot more, which I had never experienced before. So, what is your view? What is your experience on that? That these exercises giving us energy to continue these daily habits and
Absolutely. Yeah,
activities.
that's a very, very interesting and important point you noted out, where people, because of whatever their current, because of the accumulative effect of a sedentary lifestyle, or lack of awareness and knowledge, have sort of stiffen their body in ways, increase inflammation, which is restricting their movement, frozen shoulders, all sort of issues. So like you rightly say, to begin with, functional exercising might seem a very scary probability and might even be an impediment, and like you say, they'll tire out very quickly. I would like to clean my house by sweeping and swabbing, but I don't have the energy. So yeah, spot on. And Maipadam is one of those amazing tools where, because of the way the movements are consciously made with relaxing the body, and gently getting dynamically into certain moves and positions, the body eases into it. Rather than jumping into the end, you sort of build up to the end. So it is much gentler, much more nicer. And we are also activating, again, this is our there's now no actual proof to support it, but our understanding of nadis and everything points to the fact, or even understanding of meridians in Chinese medicine points to the fact that any movement done dynamically like this definitely allows more chi or prana flowing through your meridians, your nadis, which is what provides you possibly with the energy. And that energy, like
Well,
you say, builds up.
yeah, well, actually, we do have a lot of proof to support this. It's just that
It's not
modern
scientific gold standard proof, that's all.
medicine will not
I know.
accept that, will
Yeah,
not
yeah,
accept
yeah,
that as a
exactly.
proof, right?
Correct,
But we
correct,
have ample
unfortunately.
proof
Yep,
to
yep.
support all these, all this knowledge. We have
Yeah,
ample
yeah.
proof.
A lot
So,
of traditional
yeah,
input, but none of them are
yeah,
scientifically tested. That's
yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
The
apparently,
people who
right.
are who are very sort of particular on the scientific element, yeah. But yeah, try it.
Right,
Nothing like
right,
experiential evidence. But you have
correct.
had evidence of both. You have personally gone through a rigorous gymming sort of weightlifting sort of regimen, and you have done this, and the results like you have shared are fantastic.
Yeah,
Do share
yeah.
those sort of input with everyone as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember gym session leaving me absolutely exhausted and recovery taking 3 days. Now compare that with a session of Meipadam and Karlakatai, which actually makes me feeling more energetic after the session is ended, rather than compare that to gym where I feel exhausted for the next 2 3 days. So I don't really see that being functional. I don't know what has been the experience of others, but at least in my line of work, and in our line of work, from the conversations that I've had with people, many people who come to me have had similar kind of
Mm,
experience. So
mm, super.
there has to be a reason. If people are feeling like that, there has to be a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah,
and why
yeah,
would you not listen to your body? If the body is trying,
exactly.
screaming with pain and telling you this is not working out, I am knackered, time and again, it is not a one off thing.
Yeah,
It would pay for you to listen to your body. You have just one body to work with. You can't change
right,
once this breaks down. You can't change yourself into another body. You can change your house but
right.
not your body. So listen
Right,
to it,
right,
respect it,
right, right.
walk
But
with
we
it rather
gaslight
than push it.
ourselves. Yeah, but people gaslight themselves because they say, oh, so many people over the world are doing this and they are looking fabulous, and look what kind of bodies they are developing. So they think that I only must be wrong, right? I'm doing
Yeah,
something
yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
something wrong with
People
me.
sort of lose perspective that what they see in their social media account is an excerpt of their life. For all you know, they're popping 20 pills and going to weekly doctor visits, which you don't know, and they're not going to tell you either. What do you know about their health? They might look all ripped and all wonderful, but how is their health? How is their
Yeah,
hormonal health? How is their reproductive health? We have
yeah,
no idea,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so I think, yeah, we have discussed quite a lot and very useful pointers
Yeah.
about this topic today. Um, I wanted to quickly share with everyone about this very interesting boot camp we have coming up for only for certified coaches. So if you are a certified coach of Meipadam or Karlakattai or Gada, this you're going to find this interesting, very useful in improving your own teaching, and also for anyone who is generally interested in this topic and learning in an advanced way about Meipadam and Karlakattai. So at the end of this month, we have this 4-day boot camp coming up in which we are covering four topics. So Rupa is going to cover the art of body alignment, and then Meipadam and Karlakattai practice from Ayurveda perspective. So what does Ayurveda say about Meipadam and Karlakattai? And then also fabulous fascia. So that is one of the very interesting sessions about fascia, because now Rupa, nowadays again, something starts selling like a hot cake. Nowadays everyone is talking about fascia suddenly. So
Right.
anyways, those three topics will be covered by Rupa, and then I'm going to cover a topic which is applying traditional foot mechanics to modern environments. So we are going to teach about these four topics in this upcoming boot camp, especially designed for certified coaches to improve their own teaching and to understand their students better, to teach with more awareness, right?
Yeah.
So I forgot to put this in the description, but get in touch with us. My contact details must be there. So get in touch with me and I'll send you the details about the workshop, this boot camp. Rupa, anything from you about
No,
the boot
you've
camp?
sort of covered it all. It is definitely highly, highly recommended for all the certified coaches in any fitness element. Also, it is open to anybody because it's a very common idea of how the body works, how movement helps the body, Maipadam and otherwise. It's just understanding movement and how it impacts the body from all these different perspectives. So the Trisha's topic of foot and how the foot mechanics is, because we are so not talking about that. That's such an important topic. Your entire body weight on those 2 feet, the 2 feet that we don't care about, we don't talk about, we don't do anything for it. So such a crucial topic. So it is for anybody and everybody who's just curious and wanting to know more about how to reconnect with your body, how to help the body help them better. So anybody and
Yeah,
everybody should, I recommend, do the course. And definitely the teachers who are teaching students and guiding students, they need it even more. But everybody and anybody should, all the four topics are very interesting and very practically doable and implementable into their day-to-day lives.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Okay,
yeah,
so
I'll call it a day.
yeah, that's it from us for today's session, and we'll see you soon with another interesting topic, useful topic for you. And that's it. Thank you, Rupa, and see you soon.
Yep, thanks, Trisha, and lovely seeing everybody else too. Any questions, do get in touch with us, and we are happy to answer. Otherwise, take care,
Yeah.
everyone. Take care. Bye. Be
Okay.
healthy.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.